Do you need to be rich to invest in commercial real estate? First of all, if you're thinking that you need to buy an entire multifamily or apartment building all by yourself, you are totally wrong. Syndicators and fund managers pool resources from multiple investors in order to purchase these buildings and operate them. So, you can think of it as owning a small part of a watermelon versus owning an entire grape, right? If you go into like single family houses, maybe you might purchase it all by yourself, of course, with the help of financing from a bank and so on. But in the multifamily realm, in the commercial real estate realm, it's very, very rare for someone to do it by themselves. You can think of commercial real estate as a team sport. You are one part of a much larger team, right? Me, for example, I like to play football, soccer for some of you guys, but I like to play football a lot. And you can't do everything by yourself. If you try to do everything by yourself, one person against 11, there's no way you can win, right? So everyone specializes in their own role, and then the team can perform together to do great things, to do amazing things. And there are multiple different ways that you can invest in commercial real estate. For example, you can buy shares in a REIT, in a real estate investment trust. You can join a crowdfunding platform where the minimum investments are quite low. You can join a syndication. You can join a fund that invests in real estate, or you can possibly maybe do a joint venture or a joint partnership with other people. Maybe just about up to 5 members would probably be the maximum, because everyone in a joint venture needs to be an active member, right? So there are multiple ways to get involved in commercial real estate. And the minimum investment does vary from deal to deal, but what I say is, where there is a will, there is a way. The first step is always education, right? Talk to people in the space, watch some podcasts, read some articles, read some books. Do whatever you need to do in order to acquire some knowledge and know what you're doing, right? The first step is always education. And the second step, which I would argue is the more important step, is to take action. Now, some people, some adventurous guys, some adventurous cowboys like to take action without educating themselves first. And whereas that might work out for some people, I definitely don't recommend it, right? It's not really a good idea to just jump into the deep end without knowing what's under the water. It could be shark infested, there could be multiple jellyfish, whatever. You don't just jump into the water without knowing what is below the surface. If you know what's below the surface, you can plan in advance, right? So education is definitely a key aspect of success, right? And like I said, yeah, some people can become successful without educating themselves first and just jumping in and taking action, but it's definitely not what I recommend. At the same time, right, you don't want to be the kind of person who gets bogged down in bogged down by analysis paralysis, and you just become incapable of taking action. That's also not going to get you any closer to your goals, right? So you have to have the right balance between education. When you feel like you've been educated enough, it's time to take action. And your education never stops, right? You never stop learning. I don't care how long you've been in this space. It could be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I mean, I haven't reached that level just as yet. But it doesn't matter how long you've been in the space, you always need to keep learning, right? But once you've gotten to a certain level of education, it's really time to take action. And then you keep doing both, and you keep improving, you keep developing your systems, you keep thinking, you keep getting better ways to do things, and you keep finding even more success. If you want to learn how we pursue the goal of doubling capital every 5 years, then please reach out. I'd love to talk about that. And yeah, even if you don't want to talk about that, you want to talk about something else investment related, yeah, definitely feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to make connections. I'm always happy to have discussions. I'm always happy to have debates. And I'm always happy to, I think you can learn just by speaking with other people. At least that has definitely been my experience. So I like to talk to others. Feel free to reach out. Even if you're not ready to invest, who cares, or whatever. Maybe you're not ready today, but maybe you'll be ready 5 years later, 2 years later, whenever. Reach out. Let's talk. Thank you. Haven't joined yet? Our free investing group gives you front row access to new deals and helpful investing education. Sign up today.